In Lesson 3 of Excel, we will be utilizing the Backstage to manipulate data. The first file that you're going to open is going to be Contosa Potluck. Once you open this file, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be setting the print area using the Backstage. Sometimes you want to just print certain areas of a worksheet without printing the entire worksheet. So at this time, that's what we're going to do. We're going to click from A3 and drag down to A13. That selects a range. Click on the File tab, go down to Print. You can see that what is printing right now is the entire worksheet, not just the range that we had selected. In order to print just the range that we had selected over here under Settings, you would go, instead of Print Active Sheets, which would print the entire worksheet, you would click down and you would say Print Selection. Click on Print Selection, and you will see that just the selection, the range that we had selected a minute ago, which is A3 through A13, would be printed. From the menu that appears, we have the print selection over here, and we can see everything that it is. At this time, I want you to return to the document in the top left-hand corner by clicking on the back arrow key. At this time, you can close the document without saving. At this time, I need you to open up Contosa Potluck Departments. This is a modified version of the Potluck workbook you used previously. In this case, there are 3 different worksheets for 3 different departments. We have HR, Operations, and Finance. Click each of the 3 worksheets as I just did. Notice that there is a title in C1 that shows the department name, and there are a different number of items to bring each potluck depending on the size of the department. At this time, click back on HR. Press Ctrl-P on your keyboard to display the print options in the Backstage view. In the Print Preview pane, the first worksheet displays. Excel prints only the active sheets by default. Notice that the page number shows 1 out of 1 in the bottom center of the page, indicating that only one of the worksheets will print, and it will all fit on one page. Press Escape on your keyboard, or you can hit the back arrow key, which is Return to Document button. While the HR worksheet is active, hold down the Control and click on the Finance tab. Now both the HR and Finance worksheets are selected. Click the File tab and click Print. Now in the Print Preview area, the bottom of the screen shows 1 of 2, with the HR worksheet previewing. If you click the right arrow key at the bottom, you'll see the second page and notice that the Finance worksheet previews. In the Settings section of the Print options, click the Print Active Sheets. In the drop-down menu that appears, notice that you can see several printing options for your workbook and worksheet. At this time, return to the document, close the workbook without saving, and leave Excel open for the next exercise. In most scenarios in business, workbooks are composed of multiple workbooks and worksheets. It is much easier to print an entire workbook than to print the workbook's worksheets individually. In this exercise, use the commands in the Backstage view to print an entire workbook. With Excel open, what we are going to do is we are going to open up Contosa Potluck Departments. Click File, and then Print. Notice that the complete workbook does not display in the Print Preview area. This is because you did not save the workbook after you selected the multiple sheets in the previous exercise. In the Print Area Settings option, click Print Active Sheets drop-down, and then click Print Entire Workbook. Now in the Print Preview area, the bottom of the screen shows one of 3. So notice in these last 3 exercises you could do a range, you could do a worksheet or selected worksheets, or you could do the entire workbook. At this time, return to the document, close the document, and do not save. When applying printing options, the Print command in the Backstage view offers a number of options for customizing printing workbooks. This exercise prepares you for customizing such options as page setup, scale, paper selection, and grid lines, all using the commands found in the Backstage view. We are going to open up Contosa Potluck HR. Make sure that the HRP1 is selected. Click the File tab and Print. Notice that the worksheet is small, and it might be nice to have lines for people to write on the printed page. This is where people sign up for food to bring, just like y'all do whenever you have a party in somebody's class. You want to be able to be sure that everybody's bringing something different. Well, needs to be a little bit larger. So what we're going to do is in the settings area of the print menu, we want to be able to put it in a notebook. So we're going to change from normal margins, which is left at 0.7 and right at 0.7, and make it wide, which makes it 1 inch all the way around. That allows for a 3-hole punch to happen so that it could be placed in a notebook. Another way is it's kind of small. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we can see it. So we're going to change the scaling of it without changing the size of the font inside the document. So we're going to change scaling, and we're going to make it fit on 1 page. So just in case we get it too big, that it will still fit on 1 page. We're going to go back into this option and go into custom scaling options. At this time, what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the scaling of it. Right now it's at 100%, and we're going to make it 175 by typing in 175. If you hit OK, you'll see that the font got larger. But we lost some of our information that was over here on the right that said extension, I believe. So what we need to do is we need to go back to scaling and say fit on 1 page. Now all the information is fitting on 1 page, but it is still scaled a little bit. So to do all that at one time, you can go into custom scaling. Right here, make it 175 and fit to 1 page. No, we're going to leave it at 175, not fit to 1 page. So we're going to do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the portrait orientation to landscape. So if it didn't fit one way, you can turn the paper the other way, just like in the class assignments you do in this class. You want to do the best to make it be seen. Another thing we want to do is we want to give it lines so that people can write on it. So we're going to go into Page Setup, the Sheet tab, and we're going to turn on Grid Lines. Now by doing this, this is a temporary fix. It is not making borders inside the Excel worksheet, but it will print out with lines. So when I hit OK, you'll see that there are lines on here. Let's return back to the document. Underneath the name, put your name. Underneath the extension, we're going to put your computer number. At this time, what we're going to do is we are going to go back into the Backstage view of print by hitting Control P. Now you notice that you have all the information that is on 1 page because the scaling is custom scaling. It's at 175%. We've got the wide margin, so we can now put the hole punch in it if we'd like to. We have it in landscape view, and it's still fitting on one page. At this time, I want you to make sure that you're on the VW, which is the black and white printer. Click Print. Notice that the document goes back to the view of where you are, where you're editing the information. At this time, you need to pause the video, go to the back of the room, get the paper out of the printer, and put it in the appropriate box that the teacher tells you to put it in. Changing the way Excel looks on your screen makes it easier to use for each individual person. The Backstage view also offers a number of commands and options for changing the way the environment looks. In this section, you will learn to manipulate various elements of the Excel environment, such as the ribbon and the Quick Access toolbar. In doing so, you will modify Excel's default settings. Default settings are preset options that determine how Excel will behave when performing an action. For example, a default printer is one that your document always prints to unless you are changing the setting. By default, there is one worksheet in a workbook, and the font is Calibri 11 points, but you can change those too. What we are going to do in this section is customize the Quick Access toolbar. You can't change the size of the Quick Access toolbar, but you can customize it by adding and removing command buttons. In this exercise, you are going to customize your Quick Access toolbar by adding commands to the functions you use most frequently in Excel, and by organizing the command buttons on the toolbar to the best suiting of your working needs and style. So we are going to open a blank Excel document. In the top left-hand corner, this is your Quick Access toolbar. By default, it is Save, Undo, and Redo. What we are going to do is we're going to customize it to best suit our needs. So we're going to use the Quick Access Launch, Customize Access Toolbar Launch, and we're going to turn on many different things here. First, we're going to turn on New by clicking on New, and it makes it come up. Drop down arrow key Open, drop down arrow key Print Preview, drop down arrow key Spelling. These are common ones that everybody uses, but there are some that we use in this class that are not common. So we're going to drop down arrow key, and we're going to go down to More Commands. When you go to More Commands, it lets you see all the ones that we just turned on. Let's make and move New up to the top by clicking the up arrow key. Open will follow right behind it. Then we have Save. Another command that we do in here an awful lot is Save As. So over here on the left column, you see popular commands. Let's scroll down and see if Save As is there. It is. So we're going to click on Save As, hit Add, and we have it above Save because that's where my cursor was. Yours may be somewhere else, wherever your cursor was. So what we want to do at this time is we want to make Save As go underneath Save. Once you have selected all the quick access tools that we will be using in here at this time, you can hit OK. Notice your quick access toolbar now is easily available. The reason why we did not use Quick Print is because it automatically sends it to the printer, and I want you to preview it before you do that. So at this time, another one that we do an awful lot in this class may be Format Paint. So notice it is on the home ribbon, but we might want to put it up here on our quick access toolbar. So again, we go into the Customize by going to More Commands. Notice if we go over here in the Popular Commands, we can see each one of the ribbons. So if we go to the Home tab, all the little buttons that were on the Home tab would be there. They're in alphabetical order. So I can go down here, find where it says Format Painter. Again, move it over to the right-hand side. This puts it in the thing in your Quick Access toolbar. So now we have Format Painter there. click OK, it is at the end. If that's not the order in which you wanted it to be, then you can rearrange yours to make it work for you. Sometimes you want to create a worksheet and it has lots of stuff on it, and you don't want to have to create every little thing that goes in it, so you may be able to find an Excel template. Excel has several templates that are available when you start Excel, and when you click the File tab and select New, and many more templates for which you can search. So at this time, we're going to start Excel from scratch. You will see all the templates that are available by scrolling up and down on the right-hand side. These are very different templates. Templates are files that are already included formatting and formulas, complete with designs, tools, and specific data types. This exercise familiarizes you with where the templates are located and how to select and to use them. Templates allow you to create a professional workbook in a fraction of the time it would take you to develop them from scratch. Examples of these are budgets, loan models, invoices, calendars, and things of that nature. So at this time, what we're going to do, everybody in here probably wants to buy a car at some point in time. So we are going to go in and we are going to find how much it would cost us to buy a car. So in the search for online, you're going to type in automobile amortization and hit enter. The very first one that says loan amortization schedule, we're going to go ahead and click on that. You can see that it would come up with the loan amount, the annual interest rate, the loan period in years, etc. So go ahead and hit click to create. This already has all the formulas in there in which you would need. So at this time, because nobody can go out and buy a car by themselves most of the time, this workbook will produce a loan amortization schedule that calculates the total interest and the total payments that includes the option for extra payments. So, for example, if you wanted to buy a car, you run down to the Ford Place or GMC, and you're going to buy a car, a good used car. Let's say it's going to be $10,000. Hit enter. Annual interest rate, if you catch them on a good day, may be 1.5%. So type in 1.5. Usually you're going to pay for a car over 3 to 5 years. So we're going to say it's going to be 3 years because it's $10,000. It's not a lot of money when you're looking at it. The number of payments per year, of course, is 12 because you're going to be paying one per month. And then the start date is going to be today's date. So you can enter in today's date. At this point in time, you can see that it's going to be, you're going to have to pay $284.25 every month. It's going to take 36 months. The actual number of payments are really 27 because if you put in some early payments down here where it says optional payments, we have $100 extra. If we said, hey, every once in a while we can pay $100, then you would be, total early payments would be $2,600. So the total interest that you're paying would be that much. But if you didn't pay the extra payments, notice that you wouldn't be, it'd be 36 months. Total payments, early payments are none. And so you are paying $232 in interest over the course of 10 years. So if you went up and bought a house, now that's when you're only paying 1.5% interest. Most people don't pay 1.5% interest. It's usually about 3.25. Notice how much interest went up when you were paying. So this is a template, is something that you can go ahead and open. All the formulas are in there. If I click in C2, C12, you'll see that there's this really long formula in there. I wouldn't have a clue how to do it unless somebody told me how to do it. That's why it's great to be able to find a template that is out there to be used. At this time, what I want you to do is I want you to put the information in here that is here. In K1, I want you to type your name. In K2, you're going to type your computer number. And at this time, what you are going to do is you're going to select A1 through K10. Going to go to File, go to Print. We are going to print the selection. We're going to leave it landscape. It prints one page. Make sure you're on the black BW printer. Hit Print. You do not need to save this document. You just need to close it.